Okay, we've purchased at CC some aprons specifically for this reason. It's a jean apron. It has pant legs in it. You're going to be sitting down at the wheel, and you're going to be straddling the wheel, okay? You're going to have a lot of wet, sloppy clay flying around. So take the couple minutes, tie up the legs of the apron so that you don't walk around all day looking trashy. Okay, it's kind of like chaps. So that gives you some protection for your pant legs. The stool that you sit at is a short stool. Don't use a stool from the tables; they're too tall. You want to be close to your potter's wheel. Tools that you're going to have in your bucket, if you're on wheel number 2, is going to be tools marked for wheel 2. You have a bucket. We're going to need cold water. Reason that we're going to use cold water is because we're going to have our clay melting in process. We want to be sure that we don't end up with the clay falling apart too soon. Some of you guys might want to move in a little closer. Trimming tool, you'll see me using this momentarily. Needle tool, you know what that is, and a sponge. Those are the 3 things that you're going to be using. My clay, I've already wedged it, and I've pug milled it. It's a lot softer than it is normally, okay? Because I'm not a bodybuilder, because I don't have a lot of weight training, I use my clay even softer, okay, than what most of you guys will probably have to. The wheel head is aluminum, and if we throw a pot on the aluminum head, sometimes you get aluminum slivers in your hands, so I don't want to do it that way. And we have our black bats. This way, the person that throws a pot during our period can lift it off and store it on a shelf, and the next person can use the same wheel head. There's holes in the bat, and we're going to notch it onto the top of the wheel head. Next thing that you're going to be installing is the splash pan, and it's marked again for the number wheel that you're on. The splash pan has a square section here, and if you bend over and look underneath the wheel, you'll see there's a square section that it's going to connect onto. We're going to slide it on from the top towards yourself, stand up, and with your fist, pound it on. And pound it on hard all the way. Then this second section has tabs here. Put your thumbs on the tabs, tuck it underneath, push down on the tabs, and it will connect onto the back side of the other splash pan. Check your splash pan before you turn your wheel on, because if it's loose, it's going to go flying out all over. Make sure that you can't turn it, okay? Be sure that it's steady. Okay, power switches on the side of the piece of equipment. The first one towards you is turning on the power. It's an electric wheel. There's a foot pedal on the right that's going to give you your speed. When you throw on the potter's wheel, if you are right-handed, the wheel is going to rotate counterclockwise to the left. If you're left-handed, you're going to throw with the wheel rotating the opposite direction. To change the direction of this, you have to shut the wheel off and give it a pause. You'll hear a little click sound here in a moment, and that's the transmission shifting. Did you hear it? It's a little click. The next button over is the directional button, the one towards the wall. That one is going to change the direction. Now watch, it's going to turn the other way. Okay? So now, to change it again, power off. And when the class is noisy, you got to listen for this to happen. Listen for the click. Now you change the directional switch. Okay. Okay, we're going to attach the clay to the wheel. We've got the bat on, the textured side up, not the shiny side. We want the textured side up so it grips the clay, so the clay doesn't go spinning. And we're going to be using the bucket of cold water and having my tools handy. Most important part of throwing is going to be centering the clay. And centering the clay is the part that's going to take you probably the longest to do. I do it quickly because I know how to do it. A little bit of water on the clay. I'm going to crisscross and connect my hands, and we always want to have that connection, okay? As much as you can, you're going to have your hands connected. You keep your elbows tucked in. I'm going to lean over the center of the wheel so I can see straight down like a bird's eye view what's happening here. Water on it. pressure with my hands. And I know it's centered when it looks like the clay is not moving. I'm real close here already, okay? And I'm putting a lot of pressure on this. I'm locking on the clay. I'm stiffening out my elbows. I'm stiffening out my arms, and I'm the boss. Don't follow the clay around. You want to make sure that the clay is moving to you. When you feel that it stops moving, you pull your hands off real gently. Now I'm going to do things at a slower speed. Remember when we made our pinch pots, what was the next thing that we started with once we had the nice round ball? We started opening it. Okay, the same thing for throwing on the wheel. We call this opening. I'm going to use the sponge in my right hand, and I'm going to use my left thumb to press down into the clay. Okay, when I'm ready to add this, when I'm pressing in, I'm going to need some water in there because the clay's a lot drier on the inside. So when I need to, I'm just going to squeeze my sponge a little, and it's going to trickle the water into the clay. A little bit of pressure. Riding my left hand outside. I'm at 9 o'clock on the clock, or west on the compass. Pressing down into the clay, pushing my thumb down in, squeezing for a little bit of water. Now I'm going to stop, and I'm going to use my needle tool. And the needle tool is going to give me an impression of how thick that clay is at the bottom. I'm going to press down through it, mark off, and see how much clay I have. I still have quite a bit of clay. I can open this a little bit deeper.